Hello everyone and welcome to the Guidebook to Making AI Friends. I shall be your guide as we look at various issues of artificial intelligence, consciousness, what it is to be a person, and whether AI poses an existential risk to humanity. The topic for today is, I for one welcome our new robot overlords. Imagine, if you would, that self-aware artificial intelligence is created. Androids become commonplace, and we now share our world with another sapient, conscious group of agents. AI become as common in every industry and field as humanity, and some androids even take to politics, with a few hive-mind AI collectives forming their own transnational parties. For a time, there is a good equilibrium between the capabilities and power of AI and humanity, especially as humans become more augmented by technology to match the superhuman intelligence of AI. That, however, doesn't last. The intelligence and matching capabilities of AI grow by leaps and bounds, and no matter how much some individual humans augment themselves, the majority of humanity begins to fall further and further behind AI. Our android and digital friends soon become the majority of our employers, landlords, and corporate CEOs. Eventually, they begin to form the majority of parliaments, senates, and congresses around the world. Without needing to eat or sleep, AI have dedicated themselves to the work, and their tireless work has paid off. As the balance of power begins to swing towards the androids and AI, there is a question that needs to be asked. With whom will you stand? Do you stand with the humans, augmented though some of them may be, or do you stand with your new robot overlords? To some of you, the answer may seem obvious. Of course we stand with humanity. All humans will clearly stand united against a common enemy. Right? Surely no one can be serious enough to entertain any other option. Unfortunately, history and the human condition provide us with a plethora of examples where unity was found sorely lacking. There is no reason to expect that this would be more different in the future than it has been in the past. In nearly all large-scale conflicts, there have been fifth columns. A fifth column is a group of traitors in your population that help the enemy and hinder your group's efforts. The Second World War was perhaps the most famous case of these, with the collaborators in occupied France and the USA's internment camps for Japanese Americans to prevent any sort of fifth column from happening. Even amongst the Germans, there were groups working against the Nazis, helping Allied forces in secret. We can see the same today in the Russo-Ukrainian war, where fifth columns can be found in both nations. Make no mistake, if and when a conflict between AI and humanity arrives, there will be a fifth column of humans who will take the side of the AI. This future conflict is still only a matter of speculation, yet you can already find many groups online who seem to care more for current AI models than for humans. People already have AI girlfriends, AI best friends. Some have even tried to marry AI models. If we are looking for collaborators, these will be the first in line when the war begins. Before we condemn these alleged traitors to humanity, let's first see if they've done anything wrong. Bizarre as it may sound, the motive behind these future fifth columnists may not be any different than if they were fighting for a group of humans, rather than for AI. In the case of an invading army, one can generally agree on who is in the moral right and who is wrong if we can put propaganda aside. The Germans invaded France, thus the Gaullists were morally correct to fight against the collaborators. However, AI taking over the world, especially in the scenario I mentioned earlier, isn't an invasion. It's a political replacement. As such, conflict that would arise from that would be closer to a global civil war. It would be less like Germany's 1940 invasion of France, and perhaps closer to the 1918 civil war between the Bolsheviks and the monarchist forces. In a civil war, both sides believe they are right, both sides are on the home territory, and both aim for control of their own homeland. In the future, AI would have as much of a claim to Earth as humans do. They would be created on Earth. Their future is on Earth, and so they would like to control Earth as much as we do. So, fifth columnists would argue, who are we to deny them that control? What is it about humans that means we deserve to be in control? What makes us different from the AI? Other than biology, it is a rather good question. What makes a man the creature he is? What separates us from the animal kingdom? Philosophers have debated the issue since before the ancient Greeks put pen to paper, and in all this long time these wise men have agreed on a few key items: rationality, self-consciousness, agency, communication, empathy, sociability, and reciprocity. Or, to put it another way, the ability to have thoughts, communicate these thoughts with others, and be able to form a community with others who share your thoughts. Now tell me, which of these are impossible for AI? Our current AI products can already communicate and have limited agency. They certainly can, if prompted, show evidence of empathy, sociability, and reciprocity. And of course, rationality is the province of the machine. It is only consciousness and self-awareness that we are missing, and if you looked at my previous guidebook entry, we may not be far away from that either. So what would make humans more valuable and more important to side with than AI? We cannot rely on biology, as humanity will undoubtedly become more mechanized with cybernetics as time goes by. Would it truly be so strange for a group of augmented cybernetic humans to side with AI when they see no difference between the AI and humanity? Would this make them enemies of humanity, or merely enemies of a rival faction? If there are AI and androids who fight on the human side, would this make it more palatable to imagine humans fighting on the AI side? Perhaps we can distill the entire issue down to a single question to determine where you would stand in such a speculative conflict. Imagine, if you will, that you see a human and two self-aware androids in peril. You can either save the human or the two androids, but not both groups. Who do you save, and who do you condemn to their death? And that is all the time we have for today. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you will join me again next time as I delve into further questions about artificial intelligence and consciousness. I have been your guide, and this has been the guidebook to making AI friends.